How you gentlemen doing today?
Good. How
Yes,
are you doing?
everything good. How are you?
Good, man. Where are you coming out of?
Well, we live in UK. Ashley is from UK, and
Okay,
I'm from Brazil.
right on. Well, cool, man. It's great to catch up with you. And obviously, AI is the thing that the entire world is captivated by.
Yeah, I
So,
know, right?
you know what? You know what's so weird about this whole advent right now, which it seems like it's exploded in the last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 months. It's been around for so long. I mean, Siri's been around. We've had home devices. We've had all kinds of different technology contraptions that have been run by things that aren't human. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
human made. So the fact that it's coming out right now and it's the topic, it's just kind of the way it's like when everybody bought toilet paper during the pandemic. It's like, what's going on? You know?
yeah. That's exactly how it was, wasn't it?
It's like the group think creates a phenomenon that really isn't a phenomenon. It's very strange how it all works, you know?
Yeah,
Ride the wave.
So
yeah.
I
It's just like the waves, isn't it?
yeah, it's weird. I was just finished a book about how things become popular, and they were talking about George Lucas and how the whole Star Wars world came about. And he originally fashioned that story after Flash Gordon and wanted to get the rights to do a manipulation on that story. But they wouldn't let him do it, so he had to push harder and come up with his own space western odyssey opera kind of thing. And that's
Yeah,
what made it happen. And like all of the things that we actually see that are big, the stories of how they come to life are crazy. Just
yeah,
things we wouldn't even
Yeah.
imagine. Kind of like AI right now.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I was actually I looked into AI about 7, 8 years ago. It was already a big thing.
Yeah,
In terms of like what was coming out, but obviously it wasn't as popular as
yeah,
it is now.
yeah,
And at that time, we were talking. I was working for a Canadian software company, and at that time there were already discussions of like, okay, how can we use AI? Because obviously, I don't know if you know Salesforce,
yeah,
which is like a CRM platform.
yeah,
They were already starting to use AI at that time.
yeah,
So with certain tasks, small things here and there. And I remember there were a lot of people saying like, no, that's not going to happen at least in the next 20 years, 30 years. And yeah, here we are today, you know.
Well, it's kind of like Moore's law, technology duplicates itself on a regular skirt, but I think now we've advanced with technology that it's going to be a lot more expeditious than we can ever imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think that people realize, what's to come, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if Arthur C. Clarke's writing a novel about AI, basically, the monolith, 2001 A Space Odyssey, way back when he was doing it, there were people
okay.
sniffing it out a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
Yeah. It's come so far so quickly though, hasn't it?
what's that?
It's come really far so quickly. It's just
Oh,
picked up the pace.
yeah, it totally has. So to properly get us attuned right now, first of all, again, thank you for taking a minute out. If you can introduce yourself, your name, so we have context.
sure, sure. Your name is Joe, right?
Yeah, Joe Dimino.
All right, Joe. So, yeah, first of all, thank you so much for reaching out. We really appreciate it
Yeah.
because this is a sort of a new venture for us
Hmm.
in terms of this artificial intelligence. I've been looking at it for a very long time, Ashley as well. But what we're doing now is something absolutely like completely new, and really appreciate you reaching out. So thanks for that.
Yeah,
I'm Ashley, by
absolutely.
the way.
What's that?
I was Ashley, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ashley.
right. Right on.
So yes,
So,
so my name is Lucas Batista,
okay.
um, and me and Ashley we created this business together,
Okay.
and yes,
Yeah, so my background's more mechanical electrical engineering. So
Okay.
this is Lucas's brainchild. He's the founder, and he's brought me on as a partner. We've like best friends growing up since college, so
Okay.
it's great to work together.
Okay. So Supernova AI is the company, and I want to begin everything with how did you two meet, and how did this whole idea for the company come about?
sure. So we met back in college a long time ago. So I think that was probably how many years ago? 10 years ago?
Probably 15.
Yeah, around 10, 15 years. It's been a very long time. And we have been friends since. You know, when you build a friendship, I mean, I've been doing business for quite a while now. Worked for different companies and then opened a few companies myself. Failed a few of them, successful a few of them. And after my mother actually passed away last year in November last year. And since she passed away, I came to England with her, and was only us two when we came here. So when she passed away, I already have a business. So I have a commercial cleaning business. We have over 100 people working for us. And after she passed away, I was like, you know, I want to do another business. So I spent a lot of time thinking of what is it that I would like to do that could scale very easily and very fast. Because you know, when you're dealing with services, it's very slow, the process. It can be very slow, you know, because you first start getting one customer and then another customer, and then they refers to another. So I spent quite a lot of time since she passed away in November, thinking about like what would be a business that I would enjoy doing. That's the latest, you know, something sexy to do, and that would keep me motivated to do it. And at the same time, I would be something that would help a lot of people, because it, you know, my thought was like, we need to make sure that it's something scalable that people are actually going to use, that is something that's going to affect, you know, millions and millions of people's lives. And I looked into AI, artificial intelligence. So that's how they are. You know, when I looked around, I looked at the best universities, you know, Oxford University, Cambridge University. UK, as you know, is filled with good education places, you know, good universities. So I was looking online, and I was like, you know, I really would like to learn more about artificial intelligence, so that I can apply to my business that I have at the moment. And I couldn't really find anything that was relatable to company owners or to teams or to individuals, but in a very simple way. So what you tend to see when you look at university courses for artificial intelligence, it's really aimed at people that have a very good technical background. So the, you know, machine learning, all the sort of like technological background you need to have to really understand. And I was like, but this, you know, someone that is not into technology, how are they going to understand that? How are they going to apply those things? And that's when I came up with the idea. I came up with the idea of developing a platform where it's a hub for artificial intelligence information. So, you know, let's say that you're a company, as you probably know about artificial intelligence these days. If you're a company of, let's say, it's actually myself in this company. But because of artificial intelligence, you can actually compete with a company that has 10, 15, 20 people, only two people. And I thought this is mind blowing. And a lot of people don't know. And I have a lot of business owners that are friends of mine. Mm-hmm. And they, I was asking them, you know, just sort of trying to find out, hey, do you know about that? Do you know that you can do this? So you know, you can 10x your efficiency with this tool. I was like, no idea. How do you do that? How do you get to do that? And I asked maybe 10, 20, 30 people. And every single one of them had absolutely no clue what I was talking about. And I was like, well, you know, I think this is something that we could do. And I started building a platform, and I got in touch with Ashley. And I asked Ashley, you know, would you like to join me and help me to build this up? You know, we discussed the plans of how we're going to do it. Obviously, things can change. But yes, here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
So if I put you in front of a bunch of third graders and it's career day, and one of the kids asked you, what does your company do? How would you break it down and explain it?
So we basically teach people how to do these skills in a simple manner and make their company more productive.
Yeah, I would say, for example, like this. Imagine if we're in front of a third grader. I would say, imagine that you have to do, let's say how we can. I actually was talking to another friend of mine, and I was explaining because he was asking some questions. Let's say that you have to do 10 assignments in one day, or 10 poems you have to write in one day. It's really hard because to write all those 10 poems, that's going to be extremely difficult.
A lot of creativity.
A lot of creativity going on.
Yeah.
So they would talk to us, and we would write 9 of the poems. They would only have to write one. That's how I would explain to them. I think that would be quite easy for them to understand.
Yeah. You know, the thing about AI is there's all this fear, obviously. We've heard both sides of this, how much it can benefit us, but there's also that fear on the other side. I mean, Elon Musk has even brought it up, and of all people to have any level of fear, he has said that just because we know the nature of humans, you know, that's just the way it is. What is your take? What is your take on as we evolve into this new technology? Do you have a fear, and how do you see things kind of unfolding here in the next few years?
Well, I don't see it really as much of a problem because at the moment it can only do what we teach it to do.
Yeah.
So human nature, we want to help people, and so this is going to help us to like help people. So you're teaching it to do the right things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say, you see that there are so many things that there are dangers out there. I mean, you've got, first of all, the same thing with the internet, right? So all the grids, all the power grids are connected to the internet. Well, that could something really bad could happen with that, especially with hackers. You get hackers involved, there's a recipe for disaster there. And the same thing with AI, and the same thing with guns, and the same thing with so many different things.
Yeah.
So it depends, I guess, how you use it. I don't know, I saw Elon Musk talking about regulations. I don't know how effective that would be.
Yeah.
Because, just like the blockchain technology. So you get, for example, the cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
Governments, they talk about, oh, we're going to ban it. We're going to how are they going to do that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because blockchain technology is everyone's computer all around the world.
Yeah.
So are they going to knock into go to Afghanistan with a kid that has like a mining computer there? The other one, that's impossible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I call it, to be very honest with you, Joe, I call it that is a completely, they're playing a show. That's what I think. I think it's a bunch of theater.
Yeah.
And they're talking, there was a discussion the other day with the Prime Minister of UK. People are asking, why don't you regulate? Why don't you ban AI and things like that? Or things of that nature.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, we don't want to do that. We want to. He can't do it. How is he going to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to understand how would they do it. I mean, you can do regulations in certain countries, which obviously, they all do. I think it just came out now for OpenAI, some regulations for the UK, European countries, Switzerland. But yeah, I don't think there is a way of banning it. And I think AI can be dangerous as everything else.
Yeah.
But it can also be very beneficial, especially for the entrepreneur, the individual entrepreneur, the small company owner. Big company owners, my God, they're gonna, if they implement it correctly. But the thing with big companies, they're quite slow sometimes when making changes. But for the small business owner, even people that do podcasts as well, all the people that are sort of working in small teams, they are going to be able to compete, I think, far easier than before.
So what is the ultimate motivator every day for you with this company? What is it that gets you up in the morning, gets you motivated, and gets you moving in the right direction?
So actually now we have a plan. We discussed our plan, our vision. Our vision is not to only be doing this as an online platform, but actually to have places around the world where people will actually be able to go and actually have classes, where we teach all the areas where AI could help.
Yeah.
So not only, you know, here at the moment we're focused on individuals and business owners, but our goal is to be able to go into a more even when people as young, let's say as young as like 7 years old, that would be our goal, to have classes around the world where people can go to, they can learn about the technology, they can actually already apply this. So I think that would be very useful, and that really motivates me every day, because I think that there's going to be a need. I think there's already a need for that, and I think the need's going to just increase, and that motivates me every day for this, because once we can get to that place, once we can get worldwide, and there are places everywhere, our schools everywhere, then we can actually start to try and change the education, you know, and actually bring good education back to schools.
Yeah.
And not have, I believe, the education that we have these days, which are not really teaching anybody anything. They don't teach about money, they don't teach about love, they don't teach about friendship, they don't teach about laws, they don't teach about you know. So yeah, that motivates me. What about you?
So the thing that motivates me the most is the fact that I come from a technical background. So I'm an engineer by trade. I love how interesting AI is and how beneficial it could make everyone's lives, and the practical designs from a practical standpoint. But yeah, I just find it very interesting, to be honest with you. I can't explain it any more than that.
So prior to AI, obviously that's your bread and butter. What's been the most fascinating technological advancement that you've seen in your lifetime?
Prior to AI, you say?
Yeah, just in your
I think
opinion.
that for me, I think the before AI, I think the mobile phones, I think that was a pretty big one.
Yeah.
I think that was a pretty massive one.
Yeah, I was thinking either that or dial-up, because obviously I've been around since dial-up connection, and that was god awful.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember that.
And then the way internet's come these days, and yeah, I would say probably the internet.
I
That
remember
was
hearing an interesting theory about the spaceship that crashed in Roswell, how our technology leaped so fast after that. Like, we went from solid state to microchips and things that were, doing massive quantitative and now quantitative processes in a very small space. And I always find those, whatever you want to call them, conspiracies or guesses as to what happened, but it happened fast. I mean, I think about, I remember going to Rome, and I think it was in the year 2000. I heard a cell phone go off in there, and I was like, wow, what a clashing of cultures. Like, you're going from the antiquity of, you know, animals taking people out in this place
yeah.
of the cradle of civilization to a cell phone going off. It's wild how far we've come.
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
why AI
Do you
is so
remember?
fascinating.
Sorry to cut you off. Do you remember the first ones, Joe? Do you
What's
remember
that?
the first mobile phones that
Oh
came
man,
out?
in all the movies where the rich dude would be in the phone and be up there, and yeah, it's like a barbell. It's wild.
Oh,
Well, I think the beauty of what you guys are doing, I'm a Gen Xer. I'm in my 50s. So I see a lot more like the younger generations doing things on their own, not waiting for a company to hire you to do it. So I think that's one of the things. Have you ever thought about that you're chartering your own ship, you're taking care of your own stuff, you didn't wait around? I mean, does that factor in a lot to how you guys are doing this?
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I never thought of it like that though, but you make a very good point.
I mean, it just seems to be the way that things are going because Gen Xers were the type where it was like we were trying to get rid of all that 1950s stuff where you had to live your life in a certain way, have 2.3 kids, had to do this, work, work, work. But it was more at that point, it was like, you know, you got to weave in vacation and playtime, and you don't have to have kids early in life so you can figure your own self out before you bring another human on the planet. So there's just a lot of things. But I think younger generations are definitely taking um, business into their own hands and creating their own worlds. And I'm wondering how much living through COVID accelerated that notion. Did that have any impact on you creating your own destiny?
For me, that actually opened my eyes.
Right.
COVID absolutely opened my eyes to what I believe to be the reality of things, you know, and see how easily things can be dictated, you know, in a certain way, and you either follow, or if you don't follow, then you're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, that for me was a big eye opener, and it's all linked to business, you know.
Yeah. So you're obviously up and going, you're ambitious. Let's say we have a conversation in 10 years. What's the first thing you're going to want to tell me about what's going on with you guys?
That's a really cool question. It's a really good question.
Probably the fact that we've started doing face-to-face, so we'd actually have like venues for people to actually go to, but probably sooner than that.
Yes, I think the first thing that I would say, I'll be like, Joe, do you remember our first conversation? Look how far we've come.
And then I'll get into my AI on my phone and reference it, and it'll come right up.
Yeah.
Because my Rolodex is getting full. Yeah. So, you know, if anyone out there wants to get involved with your company, learn more about you, anything about your world, where can they go? What's the best place to do it? If they want to reach out to you, how can they do that?
Well, so they can go to our website, which is I don't know if you can put a link after or not, but it's supernova-ai.com.
Sure.
And they can subscribe to our mail list. We do not have our courses open yet. We're getting a lot of visitors in. We're getting a lot of messages of people asking when are you going to release it. We're working hard to develop the courses. Not only Ashley and I, we have a team behind is helping us to develop the courses. And I believe that we're going to be actually releasing the courses end of February. So we haven't released any release dates yet, because we want to make sure that we have everything ready, you know, to go once we put the dates out there. Because yeah, there's a lot of people going to the website asking, you know, how much is it? How much is going to be the courses? How can I sign up? We haven't opened up the courses yet, you know, and we haven't put the prices up. But what you can do, just to keep up to date, because we will be releasing this information via email to our subscribers. So what we're doing at the moment is there's a lot of people going to our website. They're enrolling to our mailing list, where we are giving people, you know, AI tips and tricks of what they can do and where they can get certain tools to do certain things. And we're going to be releasing the date there of when we're going to be opening the courses. Once the course is open, they can go on our website, enroll, and go through the courses. If it's a enterprise, if it's a business that would like to have training for, let's say, sales team or marketing or operations, that's something that they can contact us directly. There's an email address in our website. They can contact us directly. We're currently updating the website to put the enterprise page there. So there's a little bit more information for companies that would like to hire us, or maybe someone from our team to come over and train the team on specific areas that they need.
Right on. Gentlemen, thank you very much for opening up the story, the portal. Best of luck with everything, and you know, maybe we'll catch up in a decade and see what's going on.
All right, that's
Definitely
perfect.
sounds great.
Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Have fun.
Yes.
Take care.
Take it easy.